to 10, 10 being most, is what for Oklahoma City?
Yeah, well, I think the whole season, the way that it was going to go south for OKC is just the idea that maybe Wemby is already just in a tier by himself as the best player in the league. Maybe he is 2 points better than every other player. Maybe he is on a trajectory where if you guarantee health, he is, going to be better than Michael Jordan by the time it's all said and done, which I actually think is greater than a 50% chance if you guaranteed health with Wemby.
Yeah. How about this? You guarantee health, it's a 100% chance.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to that idea. I mean, the thing is...
Because Michael Jordan's wasn't 7'4", and you can't teach that. It's not even their fault. He's 7'4".
Yeah, that's the thing, too, is that, you can kind of simplify it, and it makes sense that he's just taller than he's just bigger than everyone else. Like, it's just kind of unfair. And I think that, I think OKC will clean stuff up. I think that San Antonio are going to have issues scoring this whole series. Stephon Castle had 11 turnovers. I don't think those issues are going to go away. OKC, the positive side for them would be that I think they played really poorly. I thought Shai played about as poorly as he could play, and Wemby needed to hit a 35-footer to get the Spurs the win. But yeah, I think this is now, pretty close to a coin flip series. I think there's a lot of interesting strategic elements. I think that the Thunder will change a lot of stuff. I don't know why Daigneault is lining up Shai's minutes exactly with Wemby when he's on the floor. I would be going hard in the opposite direction and try and line up Shai with the Cornet minutes as most as possible, because that is going to be where OKC is going to be able to score. I don't know. I'm not sure about putting Hartenstein in the bin already from game one and just deciding he can't play when Wemby is out there. Maybe that's right, because you just need shooting. But yeah, lots to figure out. But a ridiculous spectacle of a game one. And yeah, hopefully we have 6 more games of it.
All right. Or for our sake, hopefully the Thunder win the next 4. Odds to win the series. Yes. Well, I mean, let's just be honest. To win the series, OKC is still a slight favorite, at least at BetMGM -115, Thunder -105, or Spurs -105. If you had no prior position and I handed you $100, just for a nice round number, you have to bet the winner of the series right now. Spurs up 1-0. Who are you taking and why?
Yeah, I would still lean Thunder, but just ever so slightly. And I think that the prices are pretty fair at the moment. But I think ultimately what is going to shape the series is 2 things. One, just the Thunder being more experienced, having been on these playoff runs before. Wemby, in particular, never having to play this type of load. And I think there's a bit of variance with the Spurs. Just they are more likely, I think, to break down physically as the series unfolds, just because they haven't been under this stress before. And it'll be interesting to see in game 2 just what do Wemby and Harper and these guys have in the tank after what they had to do in game 1. And then just in terms of how that game unfolded last night, I just thought that there's more low-hanging fruit for the Thunder to pick up and to fix, because they tried to do their beautiful game offense, whizzing the ball around, and it just ended up with a lot of guys dribbling into Wemby's no-fly zone and then just freaking out and getting rattled. AJ Mitchell was just rattled last night. He was just dribble in, and then it's like, oh, Wemby's here. What do I do? I think that they can simplify their offense a lot more. I think that they can just get the spacing around Shai, because what is happening in this series is the Spurs are zoning up Wemby so that he can go off the weakest shooter, which is usually going to be Caruso, and just stay near the rim. But the Spurs are also sending extra bodies at Shai. And so what that means is that there were just going to be threes open for OKC. And I thought their offense actually looked okay in the first quarter, where it was just, all right, 2 on Shai, he kicks it out to Caruso. Caruso shoots an open 3 immediately. And the issue is that they had all these guys just dribbling and making decisions. It's like, no, just shoot the ball when you're open. If you're half open, just shoot the ball, Case and Wallace. Stop dribbling. Stop trying to find a perfect shot. You're not going to get a perfect shot when Wemby's on the floor. The team, I think, just needs to be a little bit more humble in their process and just take the open 3 when it's there, because that's reasonable half-court offense, and you'll get out in transition enough by forcing turnovers against San Antonio's offense. So I think there's things that they can clean up. I think ultimately they just have more depth, but yeah, this is going to be a war. I think if OKC had pulled out last night, then it would have been a 6-game type of series. Now I think it's just going to be 7 games, and it'll just be a maniacal game 7.
It's going to be excruciating and fun and awesome and excruciating. Eastern Conference Final begins tonight with my Knicks against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Knicks about a minus 250 favorite in the series, a 7.5 point favorite tonight in Game 1. How do you see Game 1? How do you see the series? Knicks and Cavs.
Yeah, so I think I would lean Cavs at price, even though I think the Knicks are the better team. I think the Knicks will ultimately win. I thought Game 7 for Cleveland, well, I really thought Game 6s and 7 in sequence were the perfect embodiment of this Cavs team, where Game 7, when this team plays with force, and the reason they beat Detroit is mostly just because they played harder than Detroit in Game 7. And when Mobley and Allen are going to play with that level of force and Mitchell is going to look like that, then this team is elite because they have elite rim protection on the floor at all times because you always have one of Mobley or Allen out there. You have elite creation because you have Mitchell and Harden. And then I think what they smartly did in Game 7 is they leaned into their shooting. All right, more Strus, more Merrill, less Dean Wade, less Jalen Tyson, less Dennis Schroeder. Just make everything easier and more spaced and just rely on Mobley and Allen to clean stuff up at the rim. And they just played with a ton of force, just like Max Strus and even James Harden are barreling in for offensive rebounds. And when they play at that level, I think that they can absolutely beat the Knicks because I think that the talent profiles of these teams are pretty similar. The issue is with the Cavs is that they just do a lot of dumb stuff. I think this is just a pretty dumb team. And the fact that they just no-showed Game 6, I thought was a mess. I don't trust Atkinson at all as a coach. I'm not sure Mike Brown is the most incredible coach in the world, but I think he's pretty high floor. And Atkinson, I just don't trust to make the right decisions. I don't trust this team to show up every night. I expect that they will just mail in random games and not play with the requisite force. And so I think the Knicks are just an extremely high floor team. This is a veteran team that has performed. The sneaky thing about the Knicks is I think they've overperformed expectations every single year of the Brunson era, despite not making the finals. They've always acquitted themselves well in the playoffs. They execute their scheme. They play hard. And I think that floor ultimately is just going to be too much for this Cavs team that is very variable game to game.